Conversations in Education with Superintendent Narvaez.
Welcome to Conversations in Education. September is Attendance Awareness Month, a time when we focus on ensuring that all families, teachers, and schools are helping our students get to school every day. The term chronic absenteeism means missing 18 days or more of school. That's equal to 10% of the school year. Last year, we were able to reduce chronic absenteeism from 25.1% to 20.5%, an improvement of 4.6 percentage points. That's impressive work. We finally were able to move the needle after many years at a standstill. So today, we're talking to people who are helping us to make strides in the work. I would like to welcome to the table today one of our great partners from the United Way, Anita Ford Saunders, who is the Director of Marketing and Communications for the United Way of Central and Northeastern Connecticut. And also I'd like to welcome to the table today Sandy Palmer, who is a Hartford Public Schools nurse practitioner. I bet you didn't know that we have nurse practitioners in the Hartford Public Schools. So welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
This is an important topic. You know, as I said, chronic absenteeism means missing 10% or more of the school year.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of school. We all know, you know, you need to be in school in order to learn, and you are two of the great people helping us to make a dent in this important issue. As I said, we finally, you know, got some movement on what seemed to be an intractable issue, but we still have more work to do.
A lot of work to do.
And it really, this work of tackling chronic absenteeism is everyone's work.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
It's not just, you know, us around this table. We also want our families to know we want to partner with you to help make sure kids are in school every day. So speaking of partnerships, as I mentioned, the United Way is so good to us in the Hartford Public Schools.
We love the partnership.
You know, we do a lot together, and one of the big things we do is called the Hartford Campaign for Grade Level Reading.
Yes.
Now tell me, like, why is a campaign for grade level reading part of the fight against chronic absenteeism? How do those two fit together?
Well, you know, it all connects because children learn to read until about from 0 to grade 3, and then from that point, they read to learn. So if they can't read, they can't learn. It's really the foundation of everything. And we talk about the three pillars of the Campaign for Grade Level Reading. And that's early childhood education, that is summer learning loss, and chronic absenteeism, which we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. Those three things are what we are really focused on in our education initiatives, making sure that we connect the dots, that we as United Way in our 40-town region, in our partnership with Hartford, and make sure that we help you all make a dent in it. We do it in a lot of different ways. And one of those ways is our United Way Readers program. And we've been very successful in United Way Readers. We have volunteers from the community. People who are watching this program are volunteers. People from the workplace, employees from the workplace, because you know United Way started as a workplace campaign. We have hundreds of volunteers who read to students one-on-one, who read to students in a group setting for Read for the Record Day.
Yep.
Okay.
Lots of fun.
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
It is lots of fun. And you know, a lot of people think that just that small step of reading to a child, well, gee whiz, how can that make a difference? Well, we've seen of the students since June, we have reports from our year from June, a 90% increase in students' ability to read and their achievement with just reading to children, with that relationship. It's so important that students have that relationship with children.
Well, I just want to build on that, and we certainly have lots more we can talk about with the campaign and how it contributes to a reduction in chronic absenteeism, but I think you named a couple of really important things that matter. First, that relationship. And we believe in the Hartford Public Schools that that connection to a caring adult can help to combat chronic absenteeism, right? If you have that connection, someone saying, hey, you missed school, where were you? I missed you.
Right.
And also it contributes to making sure schools are places where our children want to be, right? That really matters. And also if you're feeling success, right? You said that just reading to children is helping them be better readers. If you feel successful, you're going to want to be in school
Right.
and build on that success.
Exactly.
So, I don't think people would normally think about the importance of that success in reading and connecting it to strong attendance. So
Right.
it's very interesting work.
Right, it is very interesting work, and besides the reading, we do a lot of other things to help with breaking down the barriers to chronic absenteeism. One of those is coming up this fall. It's our Stuff the Sleigh initiative, where we last year collected and were able to distribute 4,000 hats, gloves, and mittens to kids because it's cold. It's Connecticut.
That's right.
Sometimes you never know what's going to happen
Right.
in Connecticut. But that can be a barrier for kids getting to school. Maybe a parent might say, well, it's too cold, or they don't have the right coat or the mittens. And if you are a parent, you know that your child will lose 5 pair of mittens in a school year for sure, right? And that can be a barrier. So we thought of something very simple. Let's stuff the sleigh. Let's get workplaces and individuals. And when we put the word out, we got an overwhelming response. We said we need to get these hats, gloves, and mittens to kids, and we're going to do it again this year. So that's it's a heads up, folks, that we're going to do it again this
Be
year.
on the lookout.
So be on the lookout.
Yeah.
Bring your hats, gloves, and mittens, so we can make sure that our kids get to school and that they're healthy. Right?
Well, that's right. And again, you said some really important things. The first thing is that people respond when we ask them to help us. And it's just one of my favorite things about Hartford that, people are so willing to rally around our children and families. So, be on the lookout, stuff that sleigh.
Right.
And the other thing, which is going to lead me into my conversation with Sandy, is we're looking to remove any barrier that's going to get in the way from children being able to attend schools. And health certainly could be one of those barriers. So you've been working in our school-based health centers. Again, I bet you people don't know that we have health clinics in our schools.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about the school-based health clinics. What do they offer to our children and families?
Well, in a nutshell, we offer urgent care, preventative health care. We do immunization, including the flu shot. We do physical examinations, including sports and mandated physicals, which is our kindergarten physicals, 6th grade and 10th grade. We also provide health education, psychosocial counseling, and dental hygiene. I've been working in the school system for about 16 years.
Great.
And it does function, as I stated, like a little mini medical clinic. And it's located in the schools. And we're well represented in the north and the south end of Hartford. It's run by the Board of Education, so there's no really outside agency. And any Hartford Public Schools student is eligible to use the clinics, provided that a parent or a guardian sign an informed consent, giving us permission to treat.
That's just really so great and so convenient for families. Can you talk to me about kind of families' experiences with the clinic?
Well, families, a lot of times, they are eligible to call any 7 of the school-based health clinics, and they could come in, they could get physical examination, they could have maybe minor concerns that they want to talk to us about their children. And one story that really impressed me was we had a mother bring a child in to get a physical exam, and she was a Hartford Public School student. And so she asked if she could get the physical exam there, and can she get her immunizations? And I said, yes, this is all eligible to her. Not only that, but more as far as urgent care treatment, any preventative health care that we could provide. And she was very excited because she didn't know this. She owns her own business, and she was telling me that it's very hard for her to have insurance, and it's very hard to get her children to a provider to be cared for. And when she does, when she's able to do that, it is costly to her. So she was so excited to know that this was in the school and provided free to her children.
Yeah, as a working mom, I can appreciate that convenience. Now, if you don't have a school-based clinic in your school, and you're a Hartford Public School student, are you still eligible to go to a clinic that's located in another school?
Yes,
Okay.
yes you are.
So how would you access that?
If we have the nurses that are in the school clinics that are not clinics but just nursing offices, and they have a child that have a need, they can call any one of the clinics and refer that child to us, so they could come over to the clinic and we could provide for that child.
So talk to the nurse in your
Yes.
school, and she or he can help to connect you to
Yes.
the school-based health clinic. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
So with the United Way, I'm going to come back to you,
Okay.
Anita. We talked about a number of things that you do in partnership with us. Can you tell us, there's lots more you certainly do to partner with the Hartford Public Schools and to serve our families in this community. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that work looks like?
Sure. Let me just tell folks, if you've heard of United Way before, but maybe you haven't heard of United Way before. We've been around here since 1924 here in this region.
Wow.
But for an organization that has a legacy like United Way, we've been able to stay in touch and keep up with the issues that are really important to families. We're concerned making sure that kids read by the beginning of fourth grade, read on grade level by the beginning of fourth grade.
So important.
That families are healthy and financially secure. Which is a huge part of a family unit, and also making sure that people have access to immediate emergency needs, such as food and shelter. So just to give you a big picture of United Way. So our services, our partners are wrapped in that, and the school system being one of the partners. And when you mentioned the health piece, that's very much a part of it as well. Making sure that our kids are healthy, that families are financially secure. It's all wrapped in that. For our chronic absentee work, we are part of the campaign for grade level reading, and part of our job is to make sure that people know what's going on. So we've got bus signs, we've had PSAs, ads, we're on 211, billboards. We even had a billboard in the baggage area of Bradley International Airport reminding people about staying in school, make sure your kids stay in school. So we're trying to send the messages all the time. We have partners like Mega Education, the Hartford Foundation, Achieve Hartford, the City of Hartford, who send out messages via social media. Your office does a great job. You've done PSAs for us.
I have, yes.
Mario's done PSAs for us. We try to keep it moving. But we reach out with our readers. We reach out. We have a very huge volunteer base, and as I said before, sometimes we think that's a very small thing, but it makes such a huge impact on a child. If you were to go to our website, unitedwayinc.org, and read some of the stories of the children and then the readers, and what their experience has been. It helps the child, but it also helps the volunteer as well. And there's so many people who work in this community, who may not live in this community, but work in this community and live in this community, who want to make a difference here with children. And we need every single one. We need the nurses, we need the superintendents, but we also need people who work in barbershops, parents who just care. Our building's located near a small little pond, and I was walking around and I saw a young boy playing basketball, and I don't know if this was the mother in me, but I said, "So, how come you're not in school?"
Good for you.
And he's still bouncing the ball. But he said it was a half day, and we started a conversation. Told me where he was going to school, what he was studying, what he wanted to do. We started to build a little bit of relationship, but I wanted to know why you weren't in school. So it takes every single one of us to take that extra step. And United Way is a great opportunity. We mobilize volunteers. We mobilize people who care about the community to actually do something. We have affinity groups who raise money, and that's really a bigger part. The money that we raise for community investment goes into these programs. We have a very active emerging leaders group and Women's Leadership Council, where we raise money in our workplace campaigns as well for this specific purpose. So that's why community investment for United Way is so important. And we talk about the volunteers, but it is about donating dollars to invest right back into this community and our children.
Yeah, and it goes right, as you said, into the programs that we've been talking about. So if people say, hey, I see this campaign in my workplace, where does the money go? It goes right into what we're talking about. And I'm so glad you talked about the campaign, because one of the reasons we're doing the show today is to raise awareness around chronic absenteeism, and that it does take all of us. We often say it takes a village, and if you do see a young person out, you say, you know, hey, shouldn't you be in school, or mentor, right? And make that connection, be that caring adult, or volunteer to read to children, or help spread awareness of our school-based health clinics. But we do a campaign so people are aware this is an issue, and it affects some important milestones for children, like reading on grade level by 4th grade. You know, just some of those other key things we're working toward, like math achievement and access to the opportunities that we provide in schools. So we say September is Attendance Awareness Month, but don't just limit it to September.
That's right. It's all year round.
It's all year round, every day. So I want to talk about chronic absenteeism and how it relates to the work you do in the clinics. How do you think that helps us to reduce chronic absenteeism?
Well, we know that illness can be a contributing factor to absenteeism. So as healthcare providers, it's our responsibility to make sure our children do not miss school because of chronic illness and or lack of access to healthcare. So we do this by providing guidance on when a child should stay homesick and when to avoid unnecessary absences because of minor illness or anxiety. And we also do this by providing preventative health care where we manage and treat chronic illnesses, example asthma, so that a child can maintain a level of health which will allow them to continue to attend school. So that's important, especially we have many children that have a history of asthma. So we have a care plan that is an evidence-based asthma management plan that provide us a tool so we could identify asthma in our children and also characterize the severity of the asthma. And so it's a systematic approach to asthma management. It also provides a tool for the parents to use at home to control asthma. So this entails reduce the number of absences that may occur and also reduce the number of emergency room visits.
Yeah, definitely. Such important work, and you know, this will help not let some kind of chronic kind of illnesses stand in the way of daily attendance. Now, I get this question a lot. Who can use the school-based health clinics? Is it for students? Can families be served in the clinics? Who can be served in the school-based clinics?
It's the students that we serve. Many of the schools, however, the family will bring their children in early before school start to have them assessed, or if they're concerned about an illness that they may have, they want us to examine them. So they use the school like a mini emergency room. So because our resources are there, and that usually help many people in the community.
Yeah, and I know that we were talking earlier about the fact that even though it's for students, for the direct service, you also serve families through health education. Can you talk a little bit about that?
When we have parents bring their children to school, or let's just say that the child come down to the clinic and they're not feeling well, and we you know, have a diagnosis and we plan a treatment, we always call the parents in and we educate the parents on how to take care of the child or how to prevent this illness from occurring again. And they're very, you know, they're very appreciative of that. Also with the asthma plan, we work together with the parents with that. Even our children who are diabetic, we have a care plan that is placed in the clinic on top of the care plan that the provider provide for us as far as taking care of the diabetic child. And we have open communication and collaboration with the parent so that we can maintain a good level of health for that child to continue to attend school.
It sounds like it's a great partnership with families, one you don't often think about as kind of a first level of partnership, but also in terms of building relationships with families. It sounds just so critical, and I thank you for your service to our children and families. We're so lucky. I'm so proud that we're able to offer this kind of service right within our schools.
Well, I think it's so beneficial because many parents, when we call them, as you know, as a parent, that a lot of times they can't get away from work
Yeah.
to care for their child. So when they have a clinic where we can assess the child, care for the child, treat the child, call the parent, let the parent know what's going on, send some information home as far as health education to them, that is so beneficial. And many parents are so appreciative that we're there.
Yeah, well, Sandy, you've had some great advice in terms of how parents can partner with schools to help keep their children in school every day and to combat chronic absenteeism. Anita, what recommendations do you have for community partners to help with the work of reducing chronic absenteeism? How can they help?
You know, I think, you know, I thought about this a lot, and I preach when I talk about this. Get involved. Think about what's really in your gut. I told the story of when I saw the young man, you know, playing basketball and asking. Volunteer. We have at United Way wonderful opportunities. We have a portal for volunteering. If it's for reading, we have a lot of other opportunities for volunteering. And obviously contribute to United Way, the community investment area of the campaign, because that money goes directly to help. But get involved, because this is our community. You know, I'm Hartford born and bred. So, you know, my heart is here in Hartford, and I care about this community, and people watching this program care about this community.
That's
so it's
very
time
true.
to step up and get involved.
And we can find a match for you.
That's right.
That fits your interests and what you can contribute.
We will-
There's not
we will-
one way.
That's right. We
to
will
be
make it
involved.
work for whatever situation, one-on-one, group volunteering. I mean, we can start there, but wherever, we'll meet you wherever you are.
Yep, just give what you can.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
it.
And I just want to ask you, Sandy, if you have anything else to add. What other resources are out there for families to help with this issue?
Well, one thing is I want to add is that any family could call any one of the 7 school-based health clinics. We have our phone number, our address. What we provide would be on our health service page at the Hartford Public School website. Or they could just call the number 860-695-8780 and they would get the same information.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we are so blessed to have people within the system and our community partners working with us to support each and every student in the Hartford Public Schools. So I just want to thank you for talking about this important issue
Thank you for having
with
us.
me today, and for all that you do every day for our students and families. So I want to thank my guests for their time, their energy, and hard work in helping our students realize the importance of getting to school every day. Together, we can continue to make great strides in this most crucial work. Thanks for watching.
Conversations in Education with Superintendent Narvaez.